Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am now back again. It's been a while. Back on Gran Turismo. My pedals, if you didn't see from the beginning, have now started to work. I fixed them with a little bit of cleaning. It took a while to upload this video as I'm now in school, so it's a little harder to push out videos like I used to. But we are now on Gran Turismo, my beloved first game of racing on with the wheel. I did fall back into C, I guess Class C racing, and I'm working my way to get that A license or up to A driver rating. But we're going to be racing around, I forget what this track is, but racing around this track. And we are in Group 4 cars in a C lobby, and you're going to see a lot of, well, hopefully a lot of not so, hopefully a lot of clean racing and not really hitting people off the track. But in these lobbies, they're notorious for hitting people off the track, so I guess we'll see. This is one of the races out of like the millions that I've done or have recorded that it actually ended well because I didn't get slammed into the back of my car going like 200 miles an hour down the straight, so bear with me. Coming into lap 2, I had a good run out of the last corner and I was within slipstream range, so I managed to, I didn't know if I wanted to help or just to pass. Ultimately, I helped push this guy down just to break the toe from Hot Taco right there in the back, the Canadian driver. It somehow managed to work. I try to go up the inside and I end up over braking. He kind of turns in a little bit and taps the front of my car, sends himself a little wide off track, and then I try to pull in. I try to be the safest and fairest driver until you do something bad to me, then I really don't care. That's something I should be promoting. Anyway, I had done some practice before this race, and I was racing the top guy in the world, or not racing against the top guy's ghost in the world, I should clarify. For the time that I had to put down, my qualifying times to see where I was, and I did qualify first after a couple runs. It was very terrible, very terrible. I didn't like it at all. But it was interesting as I couldn't quite put the lap time in the race. I had somewhat close to the lap time, but nowhere near, or somewhat close, but nowhere near at the same time to that same lap time. So I tried my best to just make up for the time that was lost to the race by being smart and strategizing. Of course, in this race, since it's 5 laps, we don't have to go for a tire swap in this race. We just have to cruise on these tires. And as you can see on the little radar there, that he gets quite close to clipping the rear end of my car, Hot Taco there. Too fast to pass. Well, I'm sorry, he was easily passed on the straight into turn 1. So now he is in third, and I am rounding out the second lap, coming into the third lap, and I set the fastest time of a 150.6, which is not too good, as I think I got like a 148.1 or something like that. It's somewhere in the low 48s, I believe. I'm top guy getting something crazy that I would never try to achieve, but still holding a good pace. We are 1.1 second gap away from the person behind me, driver behind, and we are just cruising, not cruising, but holding a distance so he isn't able to pass in the straight. As you can see, Eddie TK Maiden. He's going to be a frequent in a couple of these videos, I think, as we're both trying to climb, I guess, the ranks of driver rating. So you're going to see him a couple races, and I kind of get, he kind of gets on my nerves just a little bit in some of these races. But it was at the end of the week that I was recording this, so most of the people had already gotten used to this track, and it was the first time that I had raced GT7 in a long time. As like I said again, my pedals did not work, but I cleaned them a little bit, and now they work a charm, like they're brand new. Like I didn't break them. As you can hear me struggling there, I was praying to God that this race went well. I was tired by the end of this day. It was a pretty rough day. We managed to break away from Taco as he goes slightly off.
Beautiful. Come on.
I don't think he catches a
Hey,
penalty,
this
but
race
he is
can go
slightly off
bad.
of the
This
track a
can be
little
a
bit,
win. Come on.
and I end up
But we still
getting
got
a
two
pretty
laps.
good
This
gap,
is the worst
about
thing that can happen in two
one
laps.
a second and a
Come
half
on.
of
Fast lap.
time separating us. So he is not going to have slipstream coming into this first corner, which is a good thing, unless he just wants to dive bomb and kill everyone in the
Throw it
track.
off.
But
Throw it
other
off.
than that, we have a pretty good distance away from him. The GTR, I liked it because the car was.
That was
It didn't.
beautiful.
Every time you brake, it did not want to spin in a
Oh, this
corner
was not so beautiful.
like the front wheel or the rear wheel drive cars. If you brake, they tend to swing a little bit, like they'll swing the back end of the car. And the GTR, it just didn't do that. I'm assuming it's because it's four wheel drive that it didn't want to swing, but then that also kind of has its own set of challenges with it. But I just like that about this car. It didn't swing at all. I tried this race with different cars, and the
Oh, it really
GTR by
did.
far was one of the best cars for this race. And then I tried the Viper, and the Viper, what that thing had some straight line speed, but it wasn't
I had to
enough in the
brake
corners,
more.
especially
I'm
in the
literally have
corners.
to brake
It
too
was just too
really in that
heavy.
corner.
It didn't have enough
I had to
power,
brake
especially with
myself
the
all the
BOP in this
time.
race.
Alright, we're
It
gonna
just
GT7 coming through.
the Viper was
Come on, come
lacking.
on, come on.
Again, it's a GT4 car.
If I
Yeah,
can get
because
the
if
greatest
Polyphony
exit
wanna add
momentum, that'll be good.
one of the races with GT4 cars, you can see one of the drivers that's mad there. But
Okay.
he ended up catching up to me, Hot Taco, in the end of the fourth lap, coming to the fifth lap. So I was kind of scared as he was going to be on my tail coming into this last lap,
Last
unless I
exit,
broke
come on.
away and the toe reached more than a second. But otherwise, he would have the toe and he would end up diving, I believe, into
Come
the first
on.
corner if that was an option.
He might have a run on.
But with all that to say, I think
I
the
don't think he
GTR
is.
was the best race for
I don't think
the
he is.
daily race. Was it B? Yeah, daily race
Daily is
B.
close, but I don't think he has a run on it unless he
Race.
dive bombs it.
It's a pretty good car. They had understeered a little bit, but it where it understeered,
I'm
it
scared of that corner.
came up with acceleration
Just
and
trying to
top
get that
speed
win.
on the straights. It's just all around a good car. It was really good around this track, and like I said, the slight oversteer or the swing of the back end when you break into a corner, this car for some
This could
reason
get
it minimized
very
that. I'm assuming, like I said, because of the front or the four wheel drive. As you can see here, Hot Taco really pressing forward to try and get to the lead here. He's really pressing
I need
hard,
to get a little more
and I knew
distance.
when I was coming in, my
I'm gonna
thought
catch
was
up real
that
quickly.
if I didn't get enough distance away from him, that I was gonna be at in a worse predicament going onto that long straight because he will have slipstream and might end up winning the race. But for some reason, he was driving, I think, too hard. He's trying to catch up, and he's driving too hard. Therefore, I ended up gaining time as he probably made a couple mistakes. But overall, this race was really good, and I will finish in a P1 for the first time in forever on GT7. As you can see him right there, I kind of started swerving so he couldn't get the toe
I
as
think
he
it's
was
very
7
good
tenths
one.
behind me.
Unless he
But it is
pulls something
still
out.
going to
Unless
be
he starts
a
pulling. Okay, this is
P1
the win. This
for
is the
this
win.
race. Now I did it again, and
Let's
I'll show you guys that
go.
race too, because that race was a
And a fast lap.
unfortunate series of
Beautiful.
events that
Happy
happened.
race.
And yeah, as you can see there, first place,
That was a really good
a
race.
C driver rating, and then a
I thought that Hot Taco was about
sportsmanship
to catch
rating.
up to us.
But overall,
Jesus.
GTR
Alright, I'm
was
gonna
a
GT7.
pretty good car for GR4 racing.
Got that daily
Moving
race
on
B. We're starting
to
off
the
with a really
next
nice race.
race,
We got almost a
again
fast
around
time here.
Fuji
We do
International
have
in
fast
the
time.
same car, but it is not going to
1.5.
be the same
Top
outcome at the end
guy.
of this race.
1.4.
As you can see, we're starting out in the
We're
back
having a tough time.
of the pack here. I think this was the race where I didn't have the qualifying that I wanted, so
We're
I
able to
will
shave
have
off a couple seconds
started
here.
at the back for this race. This race was a mental strain. And fast forward to the start of the race, as you can see there, I'm 14th. The guy behind me He's quite close behind me, but as you can see, there's a lot of people trying to get in front on the first turn. This is only a 5 lap race, so I mean, a lot of people would wait till the last lap to start fighting, but I know a lot of the C-rated drivers start fighting now. As you can see, the Mustang goes a little wide, and the Genesis there just pushed back. And this was the race where I didn't know what I was doing. As you saw last race, I was taking this corner in fourth. I just slowed down a little bit. This time I went in third. And I was driving really safely, which was probably not a good thing, because I dropped down last, as you can see right there. 5th place. Or 15th place, my bad.
Oh, this is a good race. This is gonna be a nice good race.
Yeah, I don't know why. In this race, I was kind of hyping myself up a little. As you can see, I dive bombed this Mustang here. We go kind of door banging into this corner. I ended up losing some time, but I guess someone got sent off in that corner. So now I am in 14th place. And I don't know what. There was one race that I got really pissed off since there was someone that kept on brake
On
checking
the
me.
inside, boy.
And it was just annoying. So you can see there, um, El Kofia ended up going off of the track. I think he just got pushed wide. Ended up going off the track. And now I'm behind Too Fast For You, and now in the Mustang. He was previously in. Man, I can't even remember. I really can't remember. Well, eventually, this race did not pan out how I wanted it to go. But eventually, after I got up with the Mustang on this long straight, it had a lot of top speed, this Mustang, but I go really deep here, and I try to make somewhat of the situation a little bit better, but as you can
Oh,
see, the
this
front
is
pack
not
there is
making
just
any penalties.
easily getting away. And I just wasn't driving the right line. And again, I did not do the qualifying before this, and after I think this, I did the qualifying. As you can see, I
Oh,
go
okay,
off
that's why we
track.
break.
As I didn't brake for some whatever reason, I did not brake. And here, I think I remember it was one race where I did
Force,
do it in
remember,
fourth
force, force,
gear,
force, force.
and I found that it worked, and so I was like, okay, let's do fourth gear since I lose less speed in fourth gear rather than third. But now coming to lap the end or the third sector, I guess, of this Fuji. You can see right there that the that one Chino has I think it was a 0.5 second
Fast back
penalty,
in the race.
a half-second penalty, and the Ferrari they're just braking a little too much, and now they're starting to fight. As you can see right there, the Ferrari tries to take out the Mustang. I swear these lobbies are very toxic, very heated very quickly.
That's kind of
And so
toxic.
the Ferrari, trying to hold a decent line, he ends up letting the Mustang kind of get through there. The Mustang kind of bashes it out of the way. So there's a lot of fighting, a lot of
Serial killer
griefing, a
moments.
lot of I don't know toxicity in this
Funny for
game,
that.
especially on the lower lobbies. As you get into higher lobbies, it's
He's gonna
you
kill
run
me.
into
Yeah, he's
fewer
gonna
people
kill
that
me.
are like that, but not to say that there isn't any. There are definitely some people that are really good racers, but that also are crybabies that start throwing a fit when they don't get what they want. Anyway, as you can see here,
Oh,
Mustang just gets launched into oblivion behind me. So that is, I guess, two positions, if you want to say that, yeah, that are gained because of utter
I gotta
utter
find better on this
destruction behind me. I know they're probably still fighting behind me, but I chose to just look to the front, and hopefully they won't. I think it was here, yeah, that I guess it was fourth, but I hope that they wouldn't slam into me. Obviously, that's not always the case. They sometimes will, and that's when you got to be paying attention to your radar, but also what's in front of you as well, because you want to slam into someone else. Anyway, that same individual in front, same driver in front has that, I think it's 0.5 second penalty. Yeah, right there. Kimi has that penalty. And as you see, he just goes through Alfred in the Ferrari. And now there's a little bit of fighting, a little bit of skirmishing from them too. You can see the Chino here is fighting against the Ferrari. I didn't know if the NSX was good. As you can see, someone spins out there. I didn't know if the NSX was ever good in this race. I know the Genesis and the GTR were the top contenders for this race, but I really thought that the NSX would be good in this race. For some reason, it just popped in my head that the NSX would be maybe decent in this race. But as you can see, there's a group in front of me now, all fighting as the Genesis serves its penalty and is now in 10th. Kimi is in 10th. I try to find my brake point, and it was like right there where I found my brake point. And you brake, let off the brake, or let it roll, and then you gas it as soon as you get enough rotation into the corner. But this race, I did not plan. I did not plan for this. Again, this was I guess, one of the first 2 races that I had done. So there was no training. I just hopped into the race and expected the worst and the best at the same time. Because the sea lobbies are always quite dumb. As you can see there's a collision with the Genesis in front, and the Ferrari behind Alfred, the Mexican there. He is now quite angry at that, so Kimi's gonna have to watch his tail here. As I brake right on the change of asphalt here, I go right on the pocket, right on the apex, and I get bumped from behind a little bit. I just park it right on the apex to secure a 9th position in this race. Now I am trying to catch up to Chino and Gregsters. I don't know how you say it. I think that's his name, Gregsters. But as you can see, the Genesis didn't like my move, so he ends up dive bombing me, and I kind of keep going as he tries to turn into me. And the Genesis keeps on going. He parks it on the apex pretty good, but I think I get a better exit out along with the slipstream. I don't know. The Ferrari behind me was trying to get out. He was trying to pass me, but I had the slipstream, and then he also had a penalty. As you can see here, I thought he was gonna kill me side by side, but apparently it was clean racing. I think he got what he wanted, and I got what I wanted, and we were friends now. So coming into the first corner, I have the inside line. I brake right before I park it right on the apex. He has a better exit out of the corner than I do, but I block off the inside. I just hold the outside line now as he tries to go for the inside move here. Coming double into this corner is pretty bad. As you can see there, he goes a little wide as I brake a little earlier. He collides with the back end of my car, and it's fine. There's no damage to my car. That was damage that's a light. Now in the middle sector of the final lap, I was trying to still catch up with the one Chino, but it just didn't happen in this race. For some reason, the pace wasn't there. The practice wasn't there at all. I know that the pace wasn't there. I think I could have improved on my pace, and I did at the first race I did, but in this race there's no practice and no just fresh on the game again with the pedals. That's why practice is always good for you. So keep on practicing. If it's hard, it's still gonna be hard, but just keep practicing. As he tries to go for the inside move here, I let him, and he goes pretty wide. It was honestly pretty funny. Here I keep it nice and narrow, coming to the inside. I go a little wide, but he tries to run. I think this was no, yeah, this is the one where he tries to run me off, and I end up accidentally turning into him on accident. And he loses a little control there, and he collides with the fence. Sorry, Kimmy. Sorry about that, Kimmy. I totally did that on accident. I just lost control of my wheel, and that was it. But as you can see, it could be very hostile in here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this crazy video of one win and one loss. I mean, to me, every race is a win. But I hope you guys enjoyed this first video of Gran Turismo. If you want to see more, drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.